am all over. What's up, Malaysia? I see Malaysia checking in on Instagram right there. What's happening in Malaysia from the Himalayas? Malaysia, if you want to come on live, come, holler at me. If you want to come on live, we could talk about your business, we could talk about your brand. But what I'm doing right now is on this amazing Saturday, I am sitting here educating myself, okay? And I want to talk about that because most people think that when you become successful, you get to this place to where you don't have to, there's nothing else for you to learn. And for me, there's always something else to learn. There's always something else I need to know about and educate myself on. And so I'm going to be talking about the mindset of what it really takes to be an entrepreneur and what you have to do, especially if you are over the age of, I believe, 30. Because a lot of people that are over 30, we didn't have the necessary mindset that it takes to be an entrepreneur. We wasn't really educated or taught to be an entrepreneur. These young bucks, these younger people out here, they already understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur and they're doing it. A lot of these people have chosen not to work for somebody, which I highly agree. I would rather lay on the ground and watch grass grow than to work for another person. That's just my opinion. That's just how I chose to live my life, but that's just me. But a lot of these young people, they understand that. A lot of these young people, they would rather they would rather fail and struggle than to work for another person. And quite frankly, I do not blame them. I do not blame them at all. And the reason why is because you don't own that company. You don't own that company. The company that you work for, to me, is too much anxiety for me to be working for a company that somebody else can decide to walk in and just say, you know what, this relationship isn't working out anymore. It's over. I never wanted to be like that, you know? And I tried to make myself fit into that box. I tried very hard to make myself fit into that box of just working for somebody. But I couldn't. No matter how much I tried, I could not force myself to work for another person. So I'm all on entrepreneurship. And in fact, I'm so pro entrepreneurship that I am openly against anyone that is against capitalism. A lot of people demonize capitalism. But as somebody broke it down to me a few days ago, capitalism is basically the free market. Okay. Do what you need to do in order to come up. And we live in a world right now where most of these people want the government to take care of them. Most of these people want big brother government to take care of them. And that ain't never been in my DNA because we came up poor. And even when we were on government assistance, I made up my mind that I would never be on it when I got to be an adult, because I saw what would go on behind the scenes. And so I don't mean to get political real quick, but in order to be an entrepreneur, you got to have a certain type of blood running through your DNA. In the words of my man 50 Cent, he always says, to be an entrepreneur, you just got to start doing shit. Like, stop waiting on somebody to come along and tell you what to do. Stop waiting on a guarantee. Okay. So look at this live stream right here. I don't know how many people are watching. Maybe nobody, right? There's no guarantee that anybody is going to watch this video. Well, why am I doing it? The answer is because I want to do it. The answer is because I know that in the event that I put out content, I increase my chances of being discovered by somebody else. Nobody is paying me to do it. And these days, everybody just wants the guarantee. They want to make sure that, oh, before I go live stream, I need to make sure that people gonna watch me. Before I create the program, that light is bright as shiznit right now. Before I create the program, Um, I just need to make sure that somebody's actually gonna buy it. And it's like, what the hell? Gabby says, can you please talk more about being on government subsidies and what the program means to stay in that life? Yeah, the government basically rewards you for being poor. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the truth. They reward you for being so there. If you're in the middle, okay, the first thing you need to understand is that if you're in the middle, then you are in the worst position. Like if you're in the middle class, all right. So they reward you for being poor, and they also reward you for being an entrepreneur. But if you're in the middle working for somebody, you're screwed. Okay. So if you decide not to work for anybody, um, and you have a bunch of kids, okay, there are government programs out there that'll make sure that you're taken care of. But the caveat is you can never make more than what they're giving you. If you make more than what they're giving you, they're going to take that away that they're giving you. Also, in many cases, that also means that um, you can't have a man in your home. So a lot of these programs are designed to keep you without a significant other. Okay. And then let's just say you climb your way out of that and you get in the middle class. Okay. Where when you're in the middle class, you're in the highest tax bracket there is. For instance, you get your check and a great portion of that check is already gone before you get it. Okay. So really, if you're smart, life and the government kind of forces you to be an entrepreneur. It forces you to own your creative powers, because when you own your creative powers, you're rewarded for that. There's many benefits for people that start businesses. Damn near everything you do is a tax write-off, especially if you start a home-based business. But if you are agreeing to allow the government to take care of you, you basically are their slave, really. You have to do what they tell you to do. You have to show up when they tell you to show up for the most part. And the sucky part about that is they're going to put you in a neighborhood surrounded by everybody that's doing worse than you. And we all know what those type of neighborhoods are called. Those type of neighborhoods are called hoods, or they're called projects. And, I'm not downing that system, because I think that system is supposed to be there to help people, to be a safety net, but we're not supposed to live on it and look forward to it, in my opinion. I know people that throughout the years, I've tried to tell everybody in the world how to start a business, specifically online. And I've had people tell me over the years that they didn't want to start a business because if they made too much money, then the government would take whatever check they were getting. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. You really want to live off of a government check? That's not anything to brag about. Like, that's poor thinking, you know? So you want to put yourself in a position of power. And the only way to put yourself in a position of power is you have to utilize this system called capitalism. It's not perfect, okay? It's not a perfect system. Malaysia, you say you ready. Malaysia, you on top of your game. You doing Malaysia, you are doing everything, in my opinion. You're doing everything right now to prepare yourself for your powerful future. You're on point, like a number 2 pencil. So yes, you are ready. You are definitely ready. You're a massive action taker. But a lot of these people, they're hoping and wishing, they're praying for something to change, but they're not willing to change themselves. Now, here's what it's going to take to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be the first one to tell you, whatever you see on social media, that is the end result. When you see somebody look at my office, okay, I got a high rise office right here. I got a really nice watch on. My shirt's like $120. Pants, I don't know how much I pay for it. But when you see all of that stuff, okay, don't think shit sweet, because it took a tremendous amount of mental, personal, and spiritual development in order to get to this place. Okay. It took a lot to get here. Okay. It took a lot. So you want to, when you see people in the Lamborghinis, when you see people with the diamond jewelry on, you see people in the mansions, I want you to think to yourself. I want you to, first of all, be proud of that person, because that person, no matter how good their life looks on social media, they had to get through a lot of shit in order to get there. Mental stuff, emotional stuff, they had to overcome financial hurdles. They've taken a lot of losses. These people are not just people that stumbled upon wealth. So to envy them is to envy anybody, in my opinion, is not too smart. When you envy somebody, you're subconsciously admitting that you believe you don't have the power to change your life for the better. I want you to remember that. When you envy somebody else, you're subconsciously admitting that you believe you don't have the power to change your life for the better. Because nobody that's truly successful hates on another person that's successful, because we understand what it took to get here. Man, I had to overcome a tremendous amount of baggage. Okay. I thought money was the root of all evil. I had to come overcome all kind of weird ass stuff like that. Weird stuff. Oh, money is the root of all evil. Oh, if you got money, then you're not a good person. Or if you got money, you had to do some bad things to get it. I had to overcome all kind of stuff like that. Not to mention, I dropped out of school in the ninth grade. So I had a lot of, I believe, so I had a lot of learning to do, but I believe dropping out gave me a leg up, because I didn't allow the system to program me to be a worker. So because I didn't allow the system to program me to be a worker, I had ignorant confidence when it comes to going after my dream. But I want to talk about you. It's going to take a tremendous amount of mental strength to go through the ups and downs of business. You're going to, in the beginning, when you especially when you start off with a brand new idea, if you start off with a brand new idea, you got to go through a tremendous learning curve first and foremost. Not to mention, you got to constantly convince yourself that it's actually possible for you to go for this life. Meanwhile, you're going to have well-meaning people that are close to you questioning what you're doing. Are you sure this is going to work? They're going to doubt you over and over again, not because they don't believe in you, but simply because they've never seen it done before. They've never seen it done. They don't know anybody that's done it. You know, they don't question you about working because they know a lot of people that work. They're going to question you about going for this extraordinary vision that you have, because they've never seen anybody do it. So you have to have a vision, in my opinion and from my experience. You have to have a vision that you believe in so much that you're willing to disappoint everybody along the way in order to achieve it. And that's something that I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there. A lot of entrepreneurs, the moment they are faced with adversity, especially when that adversity comes from a loved one, is the moment they say, you know what, it ain't working out. I'm gonna just go do this. Because people can't take the be most people can't take criticism coming from the people that they love. So you got to know that that's a real thing you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to convince yourself every single day that you can do it. My man Sydney Tarver's in the house, everybody. What up, Sydney? What's going on? Sydney Tarver is in the building. You're 100% correct, man. You have to go through a tremendous amount of confidence in order to go to the next level. You really do. People don't understand. They really don't understand what it takes. It takes a tremendous amount of effort to convince yourself that, hey, this wild ass dream that I'm going for is possible. When I told my people that I was associated with back in the day that I wanted to build online businesses, they thought I was freaking crazy. So the moment I realized that, oh, these people think I'm crazy, that was the moment I said, you know what, I'm gonna just go focus on getting the results. So I had to go focus on getting the results, because I knew that the more I tried to convince them that my dream is a reality, that it's possible, the more I was going to talk myself out of it. Because no matter how strong we are, we're all looking at this physical reality, okay? And we are all judging ourselves based on what's reflecting back to us. So if we have people that are reflecting fear back to us, we start to become fearful. So you have to understand that your job is to convince yourself of your dream day and night, okay? And you're going to go through things where you don't see any results. You're going to do things, you're going to put in the work, and then you're going, damn, no, I'm getting nowhere. Okay? I'm getting nowhere. What's going on? Fortunately for me, I had a significant other that was like, you know what? Just go for this shit. I got you. And that's what I did. That gave me the clarity and the space I needed in order to make this thing a reality. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go through a lot. And then first and foremost, too, you got to start. I'm just all over the place with it, no particular order, but you got to run your business like a business. It can't be something that you do. I hate when people say I'm going to do it part-time. I don't believe in a part-time business. I believe you're either all in or you're all out. Cuz put it like this, when I was in the streets, okay? When I decided that I was going to leave the streets, I knew that I had to be all in or all out. I couldn't have one foot in the streets and then one foot in music. I had to either go all in on the streets and or all in on the music. So that's how I live my life every single day. Everything I've ever done, I've been all in or all out. So that's another thing. Make up your mind. I'm gonna be all in on this thing. All in. Now that doesn't mean you need to quit your job, but you need to adopt an all in mindset. No, I'm all in. I don't believe it's gonna fail because I'm never gonna stop. That's the type of mindset you have to have. Man, I remember not being able to afford a freaking cheeseburger, talking about I wanted to build an online business. Yeah, that sounds good until dinner time comes. And your girlfriend is like, hey, we need something to eat. I'm like, damn, I ain't even got money for a cheeseburger. Maybe we can find some change in the couch. Okay. That was hard. But even in that, you know what? I was so focused on going to the next level that even if my significant other at the time said that she didn't believe in my dreams, I was prepared to walk away from that because I believed in it. I didn't care. I didn't really care if she believed in it. I believed in it. But fortunately, she believed in it. So, are you do you believe in your dream that much that you're willing to walk away from people that don't believe in it? That's a whole nother level of commitment. You ain't ready for that. You ain't ready for that. You ain't ready for that. Okay. You ain't ready to walk away from people that say, you know what? I don't believe in your dream. You ain't ready to say bye. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. That's unfortunate because I believe in it. I walked away from many people that tried to, hey, you need to just go get a job. All right, that you just signed your walking papers. I'm out. I ain't getting no job. I'm going for this because I know that if I would have went and got a job, now I had many jobs throughout life, don't get me wrong, but when I made up my mind on what I wanted to do, I was all in. I was willing to sleep on somebody's couch if I had to. Hey, I need to sleep on your couch. I'm trying to figure this online thing out. So you're going to have that mindset. Okay. Another mindset you're going to have is you can't do it all by yourself. The moment you think you saving money by doing everything yourself is the moment you realize that you ain't that smart of a business person as you thought you was. Now, I'm not saying you need a big team, but I am saying that you need to offshore some of your stuff. You need to give it to somebody else that enjoy doing that stuff. You know, I got people on my team that do nothing but write for me. I got people on my team that answer my emails for me because I don't enjoy looking at emails. I don't look at that stuff. I don't want to read an email. So you put the people in place that can help you that enjoy doing that stuff. Okay. Another thing you got to be willing to do is you got to be willing to invest money in the right things. The right things. Okay. Because in business, just because you're putting money in the business doesn't mean that you're doing it smart. Okay. You could be putting money in the wrong places. The number one place you need to be putting money into after you have a clear understanding of what type of product or service you're going to be offering, you need to put money into marketing and advertising. Get Marketing and advertising are two different things, but they harmonize with each other. Marketing is doing research on who your target audience is and what they need and what they want. Okay, that's marketing. Okay, marketing. I know who marketing is discovering who your audience is and then discovering what they need and what they want. And then advertising is getting your product or service in front of those people. Okay, so people think marketing and advertising are the same thing. They're not the same thing. You want to do marketing before you do advertising. Some people try to do advertising, they ain't never done any marketing. You know what I'm saying? Who are you talking to? Marketing is AKA who am I talking to? And then also AKA what am I bringing of value to their life? And everybody finds value differently. They define value differently. So you got to be clear about that. And then most importantly, sell your product and service to people that can afford it. When I was broke, I didn't have nothing. Guess what I did? I created products and services for other broke people. And man, although I made some money, those were the most worrisome customers. Back when I was selling products on Amazon and eBay and things of that nature, I attracted poor customers back then. And guess what? The poor customers are going to give you the most problem. Why? Because $20 to a poor customer, that could be their life savings for the week. All right. And they want to make sure that that product or service that they're getting from you has no issues at all, and they will literally aggravate you. Okay, so sell your products and services to people that can afford it. How do you do that? Well, that's all based off your price point. What is my who does my price point speak to? Okay, make your price point, okay, accommodate or attract the audience you're trying to pull into your reality. Focus on the price point. Okay, what's my price point? Price point gonna be this or it's gonna be this. We did it in web development, man. When we had $200 price point, man, we got $200 customers that act like they spent, you know, $200,000 with us, and it was like, oh my god, we don't want any more of that. So when we kept going up on our price point, that was all based off of, hey, trying to push away this type of customer and bring in this type of customer. Because we would have customers that would come to us and say, oh, the highest product that you have is only $500. No well-respected company wants to do business with a company that only has a service that's only $500. So we went up on our profit on our price point. And guess what? We started pulling in more big dogs. So going back to the mindset though, okay, you got to live this day in and day out. There is no breaks. Okay. It's Saturday for me right now. Okay. Most of you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, on Saturdays, I'm out hiking. I'm out kayaking. I'm out eating at restaurants. I'm out shopping. I'm doing all of those things. But you would be a fool to think that I'm not making money while I'm doing all of those things. In fact, I'm doing those things, one, because I enjoy them, but number two is because I've discovered how to even monetize my hiking, how to even monetize my restaurant trips, monetize my clothes, monetize the watch preview coming soon on this one, review with the link below the video. I figured out how to monetize all of that stuff. So even when I'm playing, I'm working. Okay. But the cool part is I choose things to work on that feel like play to me. They look like work to everybody else. Somebody told me the other day, man, you always work. And I said, no, I'm not. It looked like I'm working. Do you call this work? Do you call talking into a camera work? Because I don't call that work. Right. So with you, you got to get super clear about who you are first and foremost. Who are you? And I would argue and say that the person that you really are is the person that you are behind closed doors when nobody is looking. That's the real you right there. And that's the you that you need to put out there to the world. The me that you see right now, that's the me that you're gonna get in person. In fact, in person, I'm a little bit more calm than I am right now. Um, I'm a little bit more thoughtful, but online I'm a little bit more animated. But for the most part, the same person that you see on camera is the same person you're gonna see when you meet me in person. And the reason why I designed it like that is because my children also have to be able to see me on the internet and say, yeah, that's my dad. That's how he thinks. That's how he talks. That's how he acts. I don't want them to see a difference between the person they see at the house and the person that they see on the internet, because I want to teach them how to show up as real people. Okay. So another tip I would also say is don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And when I say put yourself out there, I don't mean put all your business out there. Too many people out here on the internet spreading all their business. They ain't got no secret life at all. I don't believe in that. But when I say put yourself out there, I mean, let people know who you are. Let people know your personality. Let people know your opinion on different subjects. Let people know what you eat. Let people kind of into your world. Now, for me, I don't put my family on the internet. They all got accounts somewhere else. But for me, I don't put myself out there. Or I don't put my family out there on the internet, because that's a part of my life that's sacred to me. And I don't want to always be shoving a camera in my kid's face or my wife's face. That ain't the way we rock. Now, I've talked to them about it. I said, hey, we want to live, do y'all want to do like a reality YouTube channel or something? And they were kind of with it, especially when I started talking about money, but it's not their passion. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to force them into something that's not their passion. This is my passion. I'm a camera guy. And if I say fuck something, I don't want my kids to have to deal with the consequences of that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't put them on the internet. So if you're worried about that, you don't have to put your whole life on the internet. Nobody knows what color vehicle I'm in. Nobody knows what kind of vehicle I'm in unless you come see me in real life. Nobody knows what my home looks like. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff I keep away from the internet, and so can you. You don't have to put all your dirty laundry out there. Now, the things you feel comfortable sharing, share it. I talk about my past. I talk about the fact that I dropped out of school in the ninth grade. I wear that like a badge of honor. I talk about all of the adversity that I've gone through. Those things I'm way more comfortable talking about. But my family, I don't put them on camera like that, because it's called Robbie Cornelius, not the Corneliuses. You know what I mean? And so anyway, now let's get specific. Now, when it comes to building an online business, this right here is super important to think about when it comes to building an online business. Okay. When it comes to building an online business, you need to know what do you even stand for? What do you represent? What are you doing? Who are you talking to? What are you going to bring into somebody else's life? And most importantly, how are you going to make some money off of it? Okay, that's real important. How am I going to make some money off of this thing? And for those of you who know me already, okay, for those of you who know me already, you say unable to add me? How are you unable to add me? How's that? Um for those of you who for those of you who know me, I don't know if y'all got that, but I just sent a link to the live stream. For those of you who know me, that way you can join if you want to join. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here. But for those of you who know me, I teach a formula called E-Space, and it's essentially 6 ways that I monetize every single business that I own. E-Space, ESPACE, and that's education, that's services, product, affiliate marketing, content creation, and then also entertainment. Now, when I say content creation, I'm talking about courses. And so that's the 6 ways that I monetize it. But you got to think about how are you going to monetize? How are you going to monetize your business? How are you going to monetize that? How are you going to do that? You want to really think about how you're going to monetize your business, because you are in business to make money. And that's something that you really, really, really need to think about, because it's something that when I first got online, I didn't think about that much. I was just all focused on, oh, we're going to get this, we're going to get that, and maybe some people will donate to me. But people never donated to me, man. The people didn't care about donating to me. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be clear as to how you want to monetize. Like that's very, very important. How are you going to monetize? Okay? Think about that. And so as you decide how you want to monetize, I'm all over the place right here. Hold on one second. Here we go. There we go. So as you think about how you want to monetize, just really get clear about that, because you got to make, what I always say is you got to make it uh easy for people to do business with you. And by making it easy for people to do business with you, they need to be clear about what it is you actually offer. If it's fuzzy, it's not gonna be easy for people to decide if they want to do business with you or not. You know what I mean? Malaysia says you cannot request to go live, so I'm live streaming through a. So what I can do, Malaysia, I can. So I'm gonna go inside a web asset group, and then I'm gonna send you a message inside of there, and it'll have the link on there if you want to go live. Let's see here. I'm going now. And boom, I just sent you the link inside of Web Asset Group. For those of you who watching, um, if you want to learn how to master your mind and make money online, those of you who are watching in the future, you can go to webassetgroup.com and you can learn from us. In fact, right below this little ticker here, you'll see the website. We also have an app where you can just, learn for free, learn how to master your mind and make money online for free ski. Okay. The vast majority of that stuff on our platform is free. We even have an entrepreneur AI robot that will so help you out as well. That's the type of time I'm on. Okay. So where I'm trying to help as many people as I can understand the power of the internet that's right in front of them. This internet thing is real powerful, but you got to be smart enough to take advantage of it, and you got to be smart enough to capitalize off of it. Everybody's scared of AI. Okay, you need to be trying to figure out, how can I incorporate AI into my business? How can I incorporate AI into my business model? How can I put myself in a position of power with AI? How can I run up a check real quick with AI? People demonize making money fast, but you can make fast money on the internet. And you can make fast, sustainable money on the internet if you know how to utilize the right systems. So don't be afraid of AI, embrace it. Combine AI with your own personality. And that's how you can build a really strong personal brand. Another thing I would tell new entrepreneurs is to use social media, and don't let social media use you. I'm going to say that again. Use social media, but don't let social media use you. What do I mean by that? Well, no matter how many followers you have, you don't own these social media platforms. You don't control the algorithm, and they could just stifle your growth, or even worse, shut your account down at a moment's notice. And now all of the work that you put in, guess what? You're shit out of luck. So what's the alternative? I'm not saying don't use social. I love social, but I'm also smart enough to wrap my brand around my own community, my own personal online community. So if you do have a company out there, you want to wrap your brand around your own online community, okay? And understand that there are different ways that you can grow your business online, but you're not going to understand how to do that if you're not actively engaged, okay? You got to be actively engaged. And even myself, I'm learning how to be more engaging. That's why I'm live streaming right now. People are not used to me live streaming. So, guess what? We don't have that much engagement, but I'm going to become better at it. So, I'm dedicated to becoming better at it. So, this is how it looks when you start off. Okay. I'm no expert at live streaming. So, I'm saying that to say to you, don't be afraid of starting off as a newbie. Don't be afraid of starting off as a beginner. You don't have to be perfect. You're going to look at everybody else's numbers on social media, and you're going to say, oh, she has, 100,000 followers, or He has 200,000 or a million followers. And if you're not careful, you'll allow that to discourage you. You'll look around and start comparing yourself like, damn, I don't shoot a video that good. My video ain't that good. So I'm not even going to put myself out there. No, you got to say, the only way I'm going to get better is if I practice, if I show up, and if I practice over and over again. And to get better at creating content, you got to start creating content even when you're not that good at it. You got to be willing to put yourself out there and only get 10 likes on your post. And even more humility, which goes back to what I said earlier about you don't own social media. Go through the humility of gaining a large following, and then the social media platform, for whatever reason, your traffic starts going down. So then now you got a big audience. Okay, you got a big audience, but only a small portion of those people are actually even seeing your content. That's even worse, in my opinion, than not having an audience at all, because at least your views are low because you don't have an audience. But if you have an audience and your views are still low, that says a lot. So you have to be willing to still put content out even when that's going on. And that's what's happening to me on TikTok. Okay. Sometimes I feel like I gotta tell people that I had a sex change or I got beat up by a white person in order for people to give me views. But I'm not willing to do any of that because I'm not a victim and I'm straight. And you know, you all you all got to start off somewhere. That's what I always tell people. Start off somewhere. Start off where you are, okay? Start off where you are. It's okay. You don't have to be famous in order to get started. And I want to say something else to you. You're never too young, okay? Especially on the parental guidance. You're never too old. You're never too tall. You're never too short. You're never too slim. You're never too fat. You're never too pretty or ugly to go live. I've seen successful people from all walks of life that become successful simply by putting themselves out there on the internet. Okay. So you got to get over that. I know what are people going to say about me? Hey, man, they're going to talk stuff about you anyway, but at least they talking. If you never put yourself out there, they never know you exist and they won't have anything to talk about. Okay. So the key here is to understand. Sounds good, Malaysia. Next time we'll do that. The key here is to understand that regardless, it's okay to put yourself out there. Another thing you're going to go through as well is you're going to go through the embarrassment of putting yourself out there, and the people inside of your home, you're going to be worried about what they're thinking about you. Like, you know, you're going to hear that little voice. Like, you wonder, like, if they think that you're trying to be, you know, something different than they seen. You know what I'm saying? And first of all, if you have the right significant other, you can be yourself regardless of whatever the situation is. But second of all, don't let that little voice get in your mind. Because, yeah, your significant other or your children even might say, Mama, what are you doing? Or Dad, what are you doing? Like when I first got on TikTok, my son told me I was too old for TikTok. And I looked at him, I said, how many followers you got, boy? And I think he had like 20 followers at the time. And I said, I'm about to blow past you, boy. And now he hasn't told me that TikTok was for kids ever since then. All right. So I'm telling you, put yourself out there regardless of what anybody says. Doesn't matter what people say. Okay. If you have something that you feel passionate about, get out there. There's stuff that goes viral right now. I don't even understand how it's viral. There's people making money right now from things I don't even understand how they're making their money. Like these people that are pretending to be AI NPCs. Like, how are they making money off of that? Somebody's paying them though. Somebody with some kind of creepy, weird fetish is watching those people pretending to be AI bots, and they're giving them money. So the case in point that I'm making is, if people can make money doing that, you can make money doing this idea that you have too. but it has to be something that people are willing to pay for. Who knew that people would be willing to pay for people to get on live and pretend to be AI robots? To me, it's silly, but I can't deny that people aren't making a lot of money for it. I'm not willing to do that, but a lot of people are apparently. Okay. So I just want to say that you can put yourself out there. Second of all, okay, you're going to have people tell you, who do you think you are? You only have, 500 followers. You only have 2,000 followers. Screw those people. Okay. Because those people that say that, they are intimidated by you and they think they're better than you. I saw a lady on TikTok a few days ago that went viral, and she was basically downplaying people that go live that only have a few people watching, kind of like I'm doing right now. Right. So, for instance, Instagram is not my most popular platform. Okay. TikTok is. But nobody would ever know that if they found me on Instagram first. That still doesn't stop me from going live on Instagram. It still doesn't stop me from putting out content on Instagram, because I'm here to share my message regardless of whether there's one person in the room or 1,000 people in the room or 1,000,000 people in the room. I'm going to say the same thing. And that's how you know you truly believe in something, is when you're willing to get up there and say it in front of a crowd of nobody. And you're also willing to say the same thing in front of a crowd of thousands or even millions. So put your voice out there. If you truly believe in what you say you believe, put your voice out there. If you really the king like you say you are, put yourself out there. Okay? Every day. Every day. I don't care if you have to pre-record content for the future and schedule it out. You could do that. Okay, you don't have to, let's just say you don't have the time to do it every day. Record videos for the future. Here's a fun fact for you. You know how smart I am right now? Okay. This video that I'm doing right now live, I'm also recording it on another system that I'm going to turn around and use for a YouTube video later that I chop up and send out to my social media following. Think about it. Everything you see from me on social media, I'll say 99% of what you see from me on social media, I did many weeks prior to you actually seeing it. And I just scheduled it out. So you don't have to, like this video I'm doing right here, guess what? This is 1 week's full of content, because I'm going to clip them up into little 60-second clips. And right now we're at 43 minutes. Okay, Flora Brown says, I'm proud of you for believing in your message enough to put yourself out there and encourage us to do the same. That's what I'm here for, Flora, and that's the agreement, and I appreciate you for saying that. That's the agreement I made with life when I decided to change my life for the better. When I decided I was going to build an online business, I made a commitment to the universe. I made a commitment to God. I made a commitment to myself. Hey, if this works, I will live every single day of my life trying to encourage other people to do the same thing. And I believed in it so much that I encouraged people to do it even when I hadn't even done it yet. I encouraged people to put themselves out there and to believe in themselves, because at the time I was trying to convince myself to believe in myself over and over again. So I'm like, man, if I'm having a hard time trying to convince myself to believe in myself, I know other people are as well. So I just used my podcast back then as a way to document my journey and encourage people along the way. But that's the commitment I made when I renegotiated my contract with life. And so that's what we have to be willing to do. In my opinion, we have to be willing to do things that are not guaranteed in order to get a life that we'll love to live in. And a lot of people are not willing to do that. A lot of people are not willing to put themselves out there. They might see it as a waste of time. If, man, why am I putting myself out there when, nobody's watching my content? Well, guess what? When you wasn't putting yourself out there, nobody was watching your content. Okay? When you wasn't putting yourself out there, nobody knew you existed. Now, at least people have the chance of knowing you exist, because one of the first things that people do in the physical world now is when you tell them who you are, the first thing they're going to do is start looking you up on all these search engine platforms, whether it's Google or TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. They're going to start looking you up. And if you don't have anything out there, people are going to say, I don't know who that is. I don't even know what that person stands for. I don't even know what that person stands against. Okay, so when I put content out there, every single day I'm letting people know what I stand for and what I stand against. And people are in the background somewhere, people that I don't even know are making decisions. Do we want to work with them? Do we not? Do we want to work with them? Do we not? But at least I'm giving them who I am up front. They don't have to wonder who I am after they do business with me. They know automatically. They know who they're dealing with. And that's what your content is doing. Your content is your new resume. The days of walking up to somebody, here's my resume. Here, hello, sir, here's my resume. That doesn't matter like that anymore because everybody knows that, you could just make up something using Chat GPT with your resume. What kind of person are you? What kind of content have you put out there lately? And don't worry about saying the wrong thing. It's all about being yourself. If you show up as the real version of you, I'd rather somebody choose not to do business with me because I showed them the real version of myself than for them to do business with me because I showed them a fake version of myself. So I'm the boss. I'm the boss of me. And I'm consciously choosing to put out content that attracts and repels people to and from me. I'm not trying to attract everybody. I'm trying to attract you. I'm trying to attract people like you, people that like, man, I like what he stands for. He's straight up. There's no fluff. What you see is what you get. And he's not trying to nickel and dime us to death. That's the person that I am. And you are the type of person that I'm looking to attract. There's a reason why you're here. And I attract by putting myself out there in a real, raw, and authentic way. I attract people from all walks of life. Black, white, Hispanic, doesn't even matter. I get along with so many different diverse people, but then when we all come together, we're like, damn, man, we're really alike. Yeah, because we have a similar mindset. Okay, so don't be afraid of putting yourself out there. Another thing that I saw, this is a quote that I saw off the internet one day, and this quote was, "Your content or your social media account is not for your family and friends." Okay, that's the hardest content, the most amazing quote I've ever heard in relationship to getting over the fear of putting yourself out there. Your social media isn't for your family and friends. Sure, some of your family and friends may follow you, but I'm not creating content for them. I'm creating content for the people that I'm here to help. They can watch all they want to. I'm here to make content for the people that I'm here to help, for nobody else, baby. And that's how I look at it. Okay. So don't worry about the people in your life that are just watching you from behind the scenes. They're going to watch you. That's what they're here to do. They're here to watch you like that. Let them let them watch you. Okay. It's all good. Let them watch. I'm here to impact the people that I'm here to impact. And that's how you got to think. Okay. Don't worry about your aunt, your grandma, and worry about, oh, my grandma didn't like my post that I put on Facebook. I know so many people worry about that. They're like, my cousin didn't like my post. And I'm like, is your cousin really your audience though? Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Your cousin probably sitting back there wondering, like, who the hell does she think she is? Make content for yourself and make content for your audience. That's it. Okay. Put yourself out there. Talk about your struggles, talk about your stories, talk about your success. Share with people what you're doing, what you're up to. Don't share everything about what you're up to. I believe in moving in silence myself. I never tell anybody what I'm about to do until I've already done it. That's how I move. But put yourself out there. Okay. Record content on a consistent basis. Make sure that you are eager to grow. Okay. And then build some type of monetization around that attention. The internet is all about grabbing attention. Okay. Grab the attention of the masses and you will make a lot of cash. Grab the attention. And when I say the masses, I don't mean everybody. I mean a cluster of people. If you can grab the attention of a cluster of people and put yourself out there in a real, raw, and authentic way, you can get those people to believe in you because they see you for who you truly are. And money follows attention, baby. Always remember that. Okay. That's my tips for you on building an online business and what it takes to be an entrepreneur in this modern world. Okay. I'm going to chop this video up. As I said earlier, I got a week's worth of content out of this video. So, although I enjoy connecting with you guys here, I did this video so that I'll have the content. Okay. Oh, here's Malaysia. Let's see what Malaysia's up to. Malaysia. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see if we can add Malaysia. What's up, Malaysia? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Hold on. Let's see if we can. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. There you go. There you go. We up here.
Oh, yeah, I
What's
think it's
happening?
about to get off, but I said, let me just come and say hi and tell everybody how
Amazing.
wonderful the community is.
Amazing. It's good to see what you up to this Saturday.
I had to take care of a couple things today, run some errands, but I'm grinding
That's
behind the
amazing.
scenes.
Behind
Yeah.
the scenes, living the dream. And you got all right. Tell us about this logo you got behind us. What's going on with the logo?
So this is a very interesting. I was doing coaching with Robbie. I wanted to show you the manifestation of what our work together was.
That's
We
awesome.
were having a coaching session, and I was talking to Robbie about my ideas and what I wanted to do, and for my podcast and all these different things. And so we talked about developing a community, similar to not just like Web Asset, but a
Yeah,
community.
absolutely.
And we worked together and came up with all the information like in one session. Looked at the platforms and all, talked about all the things we need to do to build this community. And so I got the logo right away. And so I was able to order
It
the
looks real
sign.
good.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Yeah.
it's on point. You're really good at branding. Dream Life Manifested. Now I'm about to turn this into an interview on you. So tell us what does Dream Life Manifested mean for you?
Dream life manifested for me means living your life in a very authentic way. I think, we've talked about a lot of things in life that happens. And sometimes we do things because we think that other people, this is what we should be doing. This is what society thinks we should be doing, or our family members think we should be doing. But if you can live your life in complete freedom mentally, spiritually, physically, your health is one of your biggest forms of wealth. So if you can live truly, authentically, and freely, that's dream life manifested. It doesn't have to look like what someone else has. It looks
Yeah.
like what feels freeing to you in your soul.
Oh, that's powerful. What
Yeah.
feels free to you in your soul.
Mhm.
To me, that's what entrepreneurship is about for me. Is like, let me build something that I feel called to build
Yeah.
that will also help me achieve the reality that I want to achieve as well. And I'm loving what you're doing with your company, your brand. The photo shoot was on point. I got to see some snippets of that. That looks amazing.
Thank
I,
you.
it looks like you was. I'm telling you, it looked like you was about to get ready to shoot some kind of like a movie or something. Like I was like, it was awesome, man. That was freaking amazing. So
Yeah,
what's your next plan? What you don't have to review. You know how we like to move in silence, but
yeah, we move in silence.
exactly. But what is something that you can talk about that you are excited about for the future for yourself and for your brand?
For me, going through my own healing and transformation journey, I think writing my memoir is not just to say I have a book, but
Yeah.
journaling is actually one of the most healing things that you can do to actually express yourself, to get your thoughts on paper. And if, even one person can be impacted who is going through a period of darkness or transition, then if that person can be helped, then that's really what my goal is, to make sure that I provide people with the tools that are helping me, get through my journey and navigate, life. So
Absolutely. So you coming from that real raw and authentic place that I always be talking about. Real raw and authentic. This is what has helped me get here, and I'm just sharing it with you. Maybe this will help you out because this is what helped me out.
absolutely.
Yeah, I freaking love that. You have a real strong message, and in fact, Kate and I were bragging on you one day. And
Oh,
yeah,
thank
and
you.
just like I think this was like last week, just how awesome of a person that you are, and how you're
You.
always so willing to help and contribute, and you know, just share your journey along the way. And then also on top of that, you have an impeccable skill for branding. I don't know if you know that. You
I
gotta
don't
know that.
know.
'Cause
I don't.
you really do, like, your branding is on point all the way across the board,
Thank you.
and I really think that even in this lifetime, maybe in another one if you don't wanna go down that path, but you could literally get paid for helping people brand themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I don't make the logos myself, but I
But
just
you got the eye, though.
yes, I know how to create. I'm a visionary person like you. A
Yeah,
lot of us are very visionary people, and
yeah.
we know how to work with people in order to get the execution done. But I just love it. I love it. Like if you get a chance to build the life that you want to live, why not? You could do whatever you want to do at
Correct,
that point.
correct, correct.
So
We're little
yeah,
creators anyway,
absolutely.
you know?
Yeah.
I love that you put the word. So you have three powerful words in your company name.
Mhm.
Dream, number one. So the word dream, all of these means a lot to me. Okay. So dream, when I first got sold on the concept of dreaming, I think this was around the Rocky area when Rocky,
Mhm.
the boxing movies, when
Yeah.
it was like proud to be American. Like they had the American flag boxing trunks,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I also seen Trading Places by Eddie Murphy.
Mhm.
And although that was not necessarily about accomplishing the American dream, that was kind of like a little scam. The storyline on that was like a scam.
Yeah.
But what it taught me is that you can come from nothing and fight your way to the top. And once I saw that, I made up my mind at a very young age. First of all, I didn't know we had nothing, but I also still made up my mind that I was going to live the American dream. And the American dream for me meant I'm going to come up with something and just live it. Like, you mean to
Absolutely.
tell me I could just make up my own stuff and just live that out?
Yes.
It's like that's the American dream for me,
Yeah.
right? And so dream means I can literally have an idea first and foremost, and I'm free to go after it. And then the word life means a lot to me because for me, and this is a little controversial, but for me personally, life and God are synonymous. Like when I talk about life, I'm talking about God. When I talk about God, I'm talking about life. Like to me, it's all this one big soup. And so when I change my life for the better, I call it renegotiating my contract with life. And
Mm.
so when I renegotiated my contract as life, I also saw myself as an individualized aspect of life. In that not only was I living a life, but I was life itself living.
Ooh,
I
I
am
love
life
that.
having a life experience. And that
Yes.
took away a lot of the fear that I had around your next word, which is manifesting.
Yes.
So once I understood that I was life itself having a life experience, I saw myself as not only the result of creation,
Mhm.
but also a creator creating itself.
Yes.
in my own little personal reality, and that made me very comfortable with the concept of manifesting. So you have a powerful business name,
Thank you.
and that's the lotus up there, right? The lotus
The
flower.
lotus symbol, my parent company, Blissful Life Consulting, when we put the community together, I wanted to make sure that everything was in alignment. I didn't want to have 10 different logos and colors. So,
Yeah,
doing a lot of switching on that. But, when you established this community, I remember one of the big themes were that, and you talked about this earlier when you said people may not understand or they may not. And so, if if people are used to seeing you a certain way, then they're not going to automatically subscribe to something changing in
correct,
one day. It doesn't work that way. And so,
correct.
as you're, because we don't even know who we are yet. Like, we're still creating, we're still becoming. Life
Yes,
is a process, it's an ebb and flow. So, we're not going to, who I am tomorrow is not going to be the same person that I am today. And because of that, having communities where people can feel safe, where they can talk about anything and not feel judged, feel
yeah,
like people understand and can even relate to the language that they're using, because it's a process as you're getting to that next form of your journey. So I think we need more communities like that. And with the technology wave, we can be in any part of the world and communicate and have these communities and feel even more connected. You think you need to be connected physically, but we can connect with people all over the world. So I love it.
correct. You're 100% correct. That's very truthful.
Mhm.
You're right. We can connect with people from all over the world by just utilizing technology. But you and I don't mean to call our age out there, but you and I are old enough to remember when there was only two channels on TV.
Right.
And if you wanted to put your even after that, after cable, and you had 100 plus channels on your TV, if you wanted to communicate your message out there to a wide body of people, it cost you tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes to just run a commercial.
Hmm.
And so the fact that we can literally turn on our cameras for free for the most part,
Absolutely.
and then all of a sudden the great Malaysia sees your live, and then Sydney sees your live, and then Flora sees your live, and then you can
Yeah.
interact with these people that have a like mind.
Hmm.
Like, why don't we do more of that?
We need to.
We got to. Absolutely. Just turn on the camera and just start talking. It's
Yeah.
easier said than done though, because a lot of well, I don't, let me. That's a limiting belief, Robbie. That is a fucking limiting belief. All right, it's it's easier done than said.
True.
I'm gonna change that. It's easier done than said. So I think we need to do more of that, because the more you put yourself out there, and the more conversations people see us having. Because with us, we have a very diverse group.
Oh yeah. Every walk
People
of life, every walk.
every but see, people don't see that. They don't see that in the world. Like, you will never know that we all are connected like that.
Right.
So if we start going live a little bit more and just letting the world see, like, damn, okay, well, how do they know each other? Well, how do they know each other? How
Right.
does how does Robbie and Malaysia know each other? Like,
Yeah.
people need to see that, and that's going to encourage them to put themselves out there a little bit more.
Right.
So you have a powerful name, a powerful brand. What is the vision for your company, and who does your company serve?
So the vision for Blissful Life Consulting, that's the parent overarching company, is me. Let me give you a little bit of background, and I
Okay.
can kind of tell people where I got the idea. But I am a psychotherapist by trade. I've been practicing over 25 years, and I noticed that, looking at one method when you're trying to treat people medically
Mm.
just isn't meeting the mark. And I think we've known that for a very long time. And so, you start to get more of the introduction of complementary and alternative medicine, which was what that we used back in the day
Yeah.
before we had all of these technological advances. And so I just want to, in our company, introduce people to complementary and alternative medicine, to include hypnosis,
Mm.
meditation, a lot of the things that we do, and working in collaboration with your medical care team. Because with my own personal journey, I've used these tools and I'm continuing to use these tools. And I think there's not one method that you need to use, and sometimes we're not exposed, everyone, depending on where you live in the country or your upbringing or your background, you may not be exposed to the different options that are available to you. And
Mm.
you may think, oh, I have to be rich, or I have to, to go to this spa and do this thing. But there's so many alternative and complementary options. So we want to provide those services to also include corporate wellness, because again, if you do have a corporate environment, you want to keep your team, the synergy going. You want to be productive, and when people are burnt out and people are stressed, then they're not really able to deliver, right? And that's the biggest thing, is delivering the
Correct.
mission. And so that's what we're doing, and so
Mm.
just very excited about that.
I love that. I gotta when you said you want to create corporate wellness, is that a commonly used term? Because that's beautiful.
Um, I think that there are different names.
I I hope you. I was hoping you.
Workplace wellness, corporate wellness. There's so many different things, but you see some of the big companies bringing in massage therapists.
Yes.
I've done this for years, even, at deployment sites, bringing in Reiki, bringing in people doing acupuncture, bringing people who are doing. So if you put it this way, and this was always a big thing for me, you
Mm.
take care of your people and they will take care of you for the most part.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that.
yeah.
I agree with that. I'm working on a. It's already done, so I can kind of. I won't say what it is, but loosely. So I got hired by a company to do this. To do some acting for the promotion of their thing that's gonna go towards helping corporations with having their employees stay well, especially when they're sitting
Mhm.
down at the desk.
Yeah.
And there could be an opportunity to collaborate. I'll let you know about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna think this out, and then I'll run it by the
Okay.
owners of it.
Yeah.
Because if you're already going into these areas, then there could be some synergistic financial value to
Absolutely.
to line the pockets of everybody. I like capitalism. I don't know. I just talk about it all the time. A lot of people don't. I talk about it openly. It's like, but I think that's beautiful because we do need more of that. We do need people understanding that there are things that they can do that does not require them to have a lot of money in order to create a sense of inner peace inside of themselves.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that's very
Inner
important.
peace and the connectiveness. Again, that's a big thing. We talked about that. The synergy with the community, feeling connected,
Mm,
sometimes at work, and depending on all the demands, you don't always feel as connected. You have your own life issues going on. And
yeah.
so if you can marry that all up, I remember I had a leader in the past, and I've always recognized, but every time he saw me, he made sure, like, I had a dog at the time, and he made
Mm,
sure, like, how is, he knew my dog's name, and he made sure that he knew something about you, even if he knew your children's name, your spouse's name. He would make sure every time he saw you, he asked about that,
yeah.
or something that you told him the last time that you.
Mhm.
And I'm just saying, like, it's so important to feel that connection.
It really is. My next question for you is, how did you learn how to speak so well?
Ooh. It's so funny. Thank you. But
You're
thank you.
welcome.
My cousin and I were just talking today, and talking about life, family, growing up, the whole
Yeah.
thing. And she said the oldest child always speaks so eloquently because they're around adults. Is that true? I don't know. She just like
Ah,
you just brought that up, and she just said that. She
wow.
said
I
the
never thought
oldest
about it like that.
child is not brought up around other, and she said especially like the first, because I'm the first great grandchild in my family. So she said the
Gotcha.
first, like there's no one else in your generation. And so
Yeah.
you're around older people from a very young age. And she used to take me around when I was a little girl all the time. But I don't know, but I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, that I never heard that before, but that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It does make sense to me. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't. There are things that I notice about certain people, like, and the way you speak sticks out. It's like, wow. Like when the first time I really noticed it is when you did the online summit a
Hmm.
couple months ago,
Yeah.
and I'm listening while I was in the vehicle. So now I'm not looking at you visually. Like I had my sense of hearing expanded, and I put all of my attention on what I was hearing, and I was like, I had to like glance down at the camera the whole. Like, that Malaysia, like, damn, like, damn, she speaks very well.
Thank
And
you. I love
you're a
to
great
speak.
storyteller.
I love to speak. I love listening. I listen to a lot of orators, and I always get selected to speak at different things or even in school, and to be the class speaker for different things. And I would listen to like JFK and Martin
Mhm,
Luther King before I would go and speak in front of people. I like the feeling that I get when I listen to someone and they give me that energy.
mm,
When we talk about staying in the flow and staying in a high vibrational state, if you just maintain what you have, it's kind of challenging to do that. You kind of have to be around people or listen to people and keep it going. It's a
mm.
ongoing process. You don't meet this level of enlightenment and it's like, oh, I made
You
it.
good forever, which is what I thought.
No.
Which is what I thought. Okay. When I
You
first
might want to pick up a bottle and hit somebody the next minute. Like, we got to keep this thing going.
yo, so when I first woke up, right? When I first had my awakening, I'm like at God level at this point. I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm vibrating at such a high level, I feel like I could levitate.
yeah,
And then next thing you know, you come around somebody that really pushes your button, and you're like,
yeah.
"Oh shoot, I'm still human." Okay, so I got to This is a lifestyle. It's
It's
not
a
like a
lifestyle.
it's not a final destination. It's like every day every moment you have to gauge that vibratory frequency every moment.
That
And
moment.
that's a job. It becomes easier as you do it. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's easier to bring yourself back in that space,
Correct.
but you got to practice, practice, practice,
Correct.
practice. And it won't always be perfect. You may have a day where it's like, oh, I'm just, wanting to, I call it groundhog day, when so you coming
Mm.
up and you dancing around, then you go back in that ground and then you come back out. But yeah, it's a constant ongoing thing.
So you mentioned Dr. Martin Luther King. I never said this at all to anybody.
Mhm.
But when I was a kid, I used to be afraid of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Really?
I don't know why. Like I would have nightmares about him
Hmm.
as a kid. I would like it would so he doesn't know this, but you know who Terrence McMahon is?
Ter- yeah, yes,
from our mastermind. He's been in
yes,
our
from the
mastermind.
master.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, the AI
yeah. So
guru.
Terrence, so one day Terrence, I met Terrence about 2 or 3 years ago on TikTok, and then one day one of my neighbors in like that was way down in our neighborhood called me up, and he was like, "I got a package for you at the house," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm not expecting a package."
Mhm.
And he says, "Do you have a truck? Because you might want to bring a truck." And I'm like, "Is it? Did you hear that?"
Yes.
Siri, Siri,
Siri.
Siri's always listening.
Yes. Wow.
That's weird, isn't it? Um, but anyway, the neighbor says, you might want to bring a vehicle. I mean, bring a truck because it's big. And I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
So I go down there and get the package, and I'm like, sure enough, my name is on it. And I get it, I open it up in the garage, and it's this ginormous picture of Dr. Martin Luther King.
What?
And I'm like freaking out. Like, I'm like, I didn't know if somebody was trying to send me a message or what. I'm from the hood,
Mhm.
so I was
Yeah.
thinking like, what kind of message you trying to?
Right, right,
Who was
right.
this? Because it didn't say who it was from,
Hmm.
and it freaked me out because at that point I still realized that I had not dealt with that fear, whatever that was.
Wow.
That fear of Dr. Martin Luther King, like he used to chase me in my dreams. Like he would, yeah,
Interesting.
like even when we learned about him in school,
Mhm.
I would just like put my head on the desk and like tune out because I was like,
Wow.
yeah. And so I don't know how. Oh, Terrence calls me. Like I left it in the garage for like a day
Mhm.
or so because I'm like, I ain't bringing that in the house. Like who did that? So
Right.
then Terrence called me like 2 days later, and he's like, "Did you like your gift?" And I said, "Oh, that was what the mark." He was like, "Yeah, I sent you that." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, I sent you that because of your ability." He said, "You know why I sent you that?" I said, "Wow." He said, "Have you ever seen the original script of Dr. Martin Luther King's I Had a Dream speech?" And I said, "No." He said, "You know why?" I said, "Why?" He says, "Because it doesn't exist."
Mm.
He said, he freestyled that speech. And
Wow.
he said, "That's what you remind me of when you speak.
Yes. It's
You
so
remind me of
true.
Dr. Martin Luther King because you can just go off the cuff."
You
And I was like,
can.
wow.
You do
So when
well.
he said that, that took away my fear of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I
Yeah.
went down in the garage, and I still have that picture hanging up in my home today.
That's
So
excellent.
Terrence McMahon. And I realized that my fear of Dr. Martin Luther King, dig this, was based off of me being afraid to speak my truth because I thought I might be assassinated for
Mm. Wow. Wow. That is huge.
it. And he chased me in my dreams until
Mhm.
I had the courage to stand up and speak my truth. And so that was like eye opening for me. Terrence don't even know that whole story, but he
Well, know
really,
now if you put this out there.
yeah, he will now. Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
he
That's so
really helped me. And I think
cool.
there's a lot of people that have, psychological triggers like that, they may have saw somebody else go out and start a business and fail, and that subconsciously stopping them from going out and doing it.
Absolutely.
Just like I saw Dr. Martin Luther King speak his truth, and that made me afraid to speak my I better not put myself out there,
Yeah.
although I did put myself out there, that was still a fear because I was going viral on TikTok back then.
Yeah.
And Gabby says that makes sense. What's up, Gabby? Gabby, where you
Hey,
from? Where you
Gabby.
from? Gabby's on YouTube. She's tuning in from YouTube there. Much love. But yeah, so with you, you're putting yourself out there, you're getting yourself prepped up for this new journey that you're on. And I got to say that I'm very proud of what you're doing. And I'm very proud of the fact that you believe in something strong enough to actually invest time, energy, effort, and money into actually making that dream come true,
Yes.
because your message is going to help so many people all across the world.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like every day we're on this earth, it, there's a reason for it. So if you think you're here to just chill and not give back, then you may not feel like you're in alignment. That's why some people may
Ooh,
feel like they have all these blockages. But when you're operating in your gift and you're operating in your purpose, things change. They change
correct.
so significantly. You're not feeling this. I mean, it's a challenge to get there. It's anything that is
Yeah,
change is gonna, cause challenges and feelings of anxiety. But I feel like now with the experiences that I've had, there's no reason for me not to give back
correct.
and use every second that I'm here to give back to others. So whether you call me on the phone or you talk, I called somebody the other day. I hadn't talked to her, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Something, you'll get a inkling, or you'll get a divine calling to call somebody, and they needed to talk to you, or you needed to talk to them.
I got chill
So
bumps right now as you're saying that.
yeah,
'Cause I have those things. I have those. I'm like, just
yeah,
call.
yeah.
Yeah, it's wow. You're very intuitive, and you are very spiritually gifted in so many different ways. And the fact that you're also involved in hypnotherapy
Mhm.
is like the icing on the cake, because hypnosis is what I use every single day to
Absolutely.
put myself in a certain mindset in
Yeah,
order to go out and accomplish what I want to accomplish for the day. It's very powerful and very very necessary.
yeah.
Where would you encourage people to go? How would you encourage people to go about learning about and applying what they've learned when it comes to hypnosis?
Well, there's so many resources, especially YouTube, just to get information about it initially. Um, if you're not kind of inclined to know about the subconscious mind, and the biggest thing is knowing that the changes that you make, a lot of times, let me just give an example. So you'll have people that keep going through a certain cycle, and they want to
Hmm.
make a specific change, and they'll change it for a little while. Then they'll go back, and then they'll change it for a little while. And it's because they're not delving into their subconscious mind to
Mm,
make those changes. So if your subconscious mind or your body believes that you're supposed to be this weight, it doesn't matter what you do. You can lose weight and then it'll come back. There's something inside that either needs to be cleared out, or some tweaks that need to be made, maybe because of different things, trauma, your experience, how you grew up, what you believe. And when you start opening yourself up to new options and learning, there are hypnotherapists all over. You can, Google them. If you have a question, you can, DM me at Malaysia H Harrell, Harrell. Malaysia spelled just like the country, on Instagram. But I just think it's a tool. And once you learn about it, there are hypnosis on YouTube that you can use as well. I'm very selective because I want to know what I'm getting and what I'm doing,
what's
and
going into my
people working.
brain?
Absolutely. So you got to be, but once you learn it, you can learn self hypnosis, and
Yeah.
that's the key. When you're able to be in any situation, you start to feel that nervousness coming on. You could be out on a train, you could be out at a cafe, and you can immediately, I can now, sometimes I'm practicing,
Hmm.
but with my eyes open, go into a trance. So once you're able to do that, and you're that's learning to conquer your mind and your mindset and making changes, but it has to be on the subconscious level. It's very difficult for us to just, you'll get it in that spirit, you'll hear this talk and like, ooh, I'm
My
ready.
butt started vibrating when you said that. It really did. Like when you said you could put yourself in a trance with your
You
eyes open,
can.
my I was like, yeah, I felt
People
that
do it.
energy shoot
People
from
who
like the top of my head to
so
my
like,
spine.
I mean, people think about a runner's high. You got to
Yes.
be in some sort of trance to run 23.6 miles, or 26.2 rather, depending on which race you're doing. I've done a marathon. And you got to be in some sort of flow or trance to do these
Correct.
crazy things and keep your mindset. That stuff's for your mind, not just for your body. So once you could learn to do it. Some people lift weights, some people, but once you learn about the subconscious mind and really tending to that, and really, maybe even talking with someone to understand why you do the things that you do, or you attract a certain person that you're always around and you don't you don't feel comfortable. But it's another tool. Why not learn about it? Like, why not try something new? If what you're doing isn't working, let's try something else.
Exactly. You're right. But we
Mhm.
argue, people argue for their limitations, you know what I'm saying? Even if it ain't working, they be like, but like, people just argue for it. And I think that's because it's hard to admit that we've been doing something that's been ineffective.
Yes.
It's hard to admit that, dang, I've been wasting you can't convince me that I've been wasting a tremendous amount of time living a life that I could have changed a long time ago. That's what
Right.
that was one of the hardest pills for me to swallow,
Yeah.
is to say, so this has been my fault the whole time.
That's a hard pill to, because it's like, no, this happened to me, because I know, like, we've
Exactly.
all been in that situation where it's like, no, they did this to me and it was so wrong, and you want to. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, like, nobody's coming to save you. So
Correct.
everybody else is living their lives. They're probably going on cruises and yachts and taking trips and swimming in the ocean, and you just miserable.
Oh, and you know what you just said too? You also just reminded me of the fact that the only reason why people hurt us so deeply back then is because we invested too much into those people's opinion.
Absolutely. It
Nobody
was all
can
we
hurt.
knew.
Exactly. It's like if I get on TikTok now and somebody says something crazy, like it literally bounces off of my chest,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't know those people, right? So the
Right.
same thing should be true for anybody else. Like, I love you, but I'm not about to invest all of my all of this value
Yeah.
into your opinion of me,
Right.
because if when you hurt me, it's gonna hurt deeply if you hurt me.
True.
And that's, back in the day, I was what they called a hopeless romantic. Like,
Mhm.
I was that person that if you were my friend or my family or whatever, I invested, I gave you all of me. Like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna just give you all. I have nothing left. This is what you get in everything, right? And then I would come across people that would hurt me, and it would just destroy me. Like, I would probably be upset for months,
Mhm.
probably years.
Yeah.
Years I walked around upset at certain people, and so I know what you mean, because at 27, it was meditation and hypnosis that helped me get over that.
Yeah. A lot of it is, and I love imagery,
Mhm.
just being able to take yourself. I mean, you always want to be present, but
Yeah.
we're always looking at the 3D and we see some negative things that are going on. But if you can transport yourself somewhere else mentally, what? And if I, and if I mean, it takes time, it's years, it's experience, but you can. I don't know if people have ever seen the exercise. Maybe they can Google that one where they have you do an exercise where you're smelling and tasting a like a lemon.
Mm,
Try like have like look that up online and
I
do
love
that where
lemons.
you could literally taste it. Your
Wow.
mouth waters and salivates just like you were tasting something tangy and sour like.
Wow.
So your mind is one of the most powerful things that you have protected at all costs, because that's what's going to get you everything you want. That's what's going to get you that dream life manifested, is working on that mind, working on that subconscious. Hmm.
You're right.
Yeah.
You just said a mouthful. Like, do you know you could possibly be the, and not to make this a color thing, that but the only black woman that I've ever heard speak like that? Like you
Really?
just said, you can teleport yourself. Do you understand what you just said? That was so
You
powerful.
can. You
You
can
really
be in
can.
another dimension. I mean,
Truthfully.
but people, even if somebody of like if you're in church and you feel like you got the Holy Spirit, or you've
Spirit.
gotten the
Yeah.
Spirit on you, it's that's the same. You're out of your this dimension. You've now
Correct.
transported yourself to this higher level of consciousness. And so I just want people to know that you can do that at any time once you train yourself to do it.
You sure can.
So when that boss come by and say something to you, and don't let that vibration go down. You know,
Correct.
somebody do something, or somebody, you have a trauma against you. Don't worry about it. They're gonna be dealt with. You don't have to worry about that.
And you get an email that you don't like and
Yes, an
it
email,
messes with your
phone
vibe and
number.
you're like, oh, that email just destroyed my day.
Yes,
Man, I'd be like, that's why I have somebody to check my emails for me.
yeah. That's a good thing to have. I was telling my cousin today, something happened where, everybody's talking about all this violence that's going on and different things that are happening in the world. And one day I was driving my girlfriend, like she's always been taking care of me, making me meals sometime, bringing me fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables to,
Yeah.
with my own healing journey. So I went to go pick some up and I had missed her turn because it's like on a sharp turn. And so I stopped, but I kept going. And so I went to another street, and when I went down this street, I saw this house, and I was like, it had the Bentley of my dreams in front of this house. And it was like a new kind of, a house with the circle driveway. Like, I was like, where am I? Where is this place? Like, so, anyways, the lady almost hit me, I guess, who was behind me when I made that sharp turn. And she kind of signaled me to roll down my window. And I was like, you don't even like everybody, you know what I mean? You get that flashlight, you don't even know. Like, don't let the cute smile fool you. You know. And so anyway, so I rolled down my window, but I was so in a high vibration from seeing this house and this car, because I was like, because I want to have these healing retreats and
Yeah.
places all over the world, and I want people to experience that, and just for a little while to be able to come and get away and see the goodness of life. So, anyways, she said, something. She asked me, did I live around there? And I was like, no, because I wanted to see where she was coming from.
Yeah.
Then she said, oh, hun, I almost hit you. And when she said it like that, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I had a friend and I missed the turn, but had I turned, you would have hit me. So I just kept going.
Yeah.
And then I said, and I changed it around. I said, did you see this house? I just changed
Exactly.
whatever was going starting to go in my mind, like, oh, this person is of another race coming at, like, oh, don't ask me, you know what I
E-
mean? Because you automatically see that in the streets. And I said, did you see this house is so beautiful? And then
exactly.
she got excited. She's like, yeah, they're building this and this and that, because she was going over there, I guess. I don't know. But you can change the dynamic of a situation, of a predisposed notion that you have of interaction that you think you could potentially have, and just change it. Remember,
You're right.
I wanted to see the high vibration of this space and see how people can beauty and all these resources that are available. And I just changed it. I was like, I'm not going to get in a, I don't have the capacity to get in an argument with anyone.
Yeah.
So
I like I That's powerful. You're right. You could just you disrupted the story that was about to start brewing in your
yeah,
mind, and
yeah,
you
in my
also
mind.
disrupted the story that was probably about to brew in her mind as well.
Ooh, because she didn't know, like, you sure you
Yeah.
want me rolled out my
It,
window? You
it,
sure? Like, you know,
exactly.
but yeah, I was like, it's another human being. It's just,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter the color.
Correct.
If I can show you love, then potentially you'll show me love. Maybe
Correct.
you won't, but I could just drive away. I
Correct.
mean, you know, I
That's
got a
it.
home, I'm going home. So,
That's it.
but just change your mindset if you can. If you can, don't automatically believe that someone's gonna be nasty to you, or because if once they see that love and that light that you're gonna bring, they're gonna be like, oh man, I would. She's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And most
Hmm.
people are very receptive to you if you are the one that initiates the engagement.
That's true.
Everywhere I go, I'll just be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be pointing at random people. I'm like, "What's going on?" They
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, what's going?"
Yeah.
You can tell like they're trying to figure out if they know me or
Yeah.
not. But I'm like,
Yeah. Where do you work? What do
"Yeah,
you do? Like they're interested. Like, I want
exactly,
some of that energy. What do you do?
exactly." Everywhere I go, it's like that. What's going on? My kids say, "Dad, I can't stand going places with you. You always talking to people." But that's how I am.
Yeah.
I love letting other people know that they are important. You know,
They're
I already
important.
know I'm important. I want
Yeah.
you to know you're important as well because everybody else probably ignoring you today if you ain't got some kind of
Yes.
special title.
Yeah.
You know, I see you sweeping that floor over there and I acknowledge
Yes.
you. And what's up?
Yes.
How's your day going?
Yes.
You know, because they ain't,
Saying some I love saying something in someone else's language. You know, I've lived many places in the world and traveled. And if you so I always try to learn at least hi and goodbye. And so if I know someone maybe of a certain nationality or
yeah,
culture, like I'll say hello in their or greet them in their language. And that means so much. Like
that's awesome.
they yeah, it changes the whole. I'll be like, I can't speak the whole thing, no, just so you know, but I can say
Correct.
hi. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's phenomenal.
Mhm.
Malaysia, I really enjoyed this conversation.
Me too.
I'm about to go do some roids and go to the gym. No, I'm not on
Oh,
roids. I'm just
I
messing
know
around.
you're not.
Nah, I just play about that. But I'm about to go.
Enjoy. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for stopping in. I'm gonna do this
All
more
right.
often.
Absolutely.
All right. Enjoy
All
your
right.
weekend.
Have a
Talk
good
to you
weekend.
soon.
Okay.
All right. Peace.
Bye bye.